Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Final Whistle. David Giacomino, Tom Takashewski, Chris Freitag. Now, next is what everybody's been waiting for.
I haven't been waiting for it.
Last night, the New York Islanders defeated the New York Rangers at a score of 6-4.
6.
Solid game all around. You know, the Islanders had their early lead, 3-0. Rangers came back, tied the game late, but the New York Islanders took the lead at the end. Chris, I'm gonna start with you. What was your take on the game?
Listen, my take on the game was I almost had a heart attack. I had Molly sitting next to me. I was telling everyone. I kept telling her, Jesus, you might have to take me to the hospital by the end of this. My heart was pulsating. I mean, listen. I kept saying all I want. I pinged the desk. I kept saying all I wanted to do was see an Islanders-Rangers matchup in the first round. Now I don't think I want to see an Islanders Rangers up in the first round because I think I'd be in the hospital every game.
That's true.
But listen, fact of the matter is, I don't know what it is in the Rangers' minds. I don't know what it is in the Islanders' minds. But when the Islanders see the Rangers uniforms, it doesn't matter Lundqvist or anyone else in net this year. When we see a Rangers uniform, the grass turns green and it's open yards because we just put up. I don't know what it is. They play a different game. They had an awful road trip, and they still managed to go 5-1 going into that game. They showed up against the Rangers, and I was like, oh, man, they played really sluggish. I don't even know if they're going to put anything together. They put together a hell of a start with a 3-0 lead. I mean, granted, the defense is awful, and Halak let up soft goals because he didn't see a shot for the first 10 minutes. And every time Halak doesn't see a shot for the first 10 minutes, you know the first shot is going in because he gives up soft goals. But the Islanders were more prepared than the Rangers to play that game.
I couldn't have said it any better. And, 3-0 lead early. In my head, in the back of my head, I'm like, the Islanders are accustomed to this. They always give up the 3-goal lead. I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it to me. But, it did come into my mind that Lundqvist was not playing this game. And that was going to hurt the Rangers, and the Islanders, I think, capitalized on it.
You know what's funny? I thought Lundqvist not playing the game was going to hurt the Islanders because, I mean, you look at Lundqvist the past 2 years, the Islanders have had their way with Lundqvist. Lundqvist has not had a good record against the Islanders at all.
Which this season he hasn't even had that good of a year.
No,
he
but
didn't
I
make
mean,
any All-Star team.
He's still having a good
He's
year.
still having a very
He
good
didn't
year.
make the All-Star team.
This is not a
You take
Lundqvist.
Lundqvist off that team, and they're down there with
Yeah.
Carolina and everybody
Yeah,
else.
but this is not the Lundqvist we're accustomed to seeing.
I'd still take Lundqvist over Halak and Grice. I don't care. If you gave me Lundqvist in a heartbeat.
Lundqvist is, I would say, top
The
3.
defense is the reason Lundqvist isn't doing well this year. That's the reason the Rangers aren't up there
defense
with the
hasn't
Capitals
responded,
right now.
I know Tom has something to say about, late in the game, big face-off, step in, always
Okay.
for the
Stepan.
goes for the draw.
Stepan.
Stepan takes the
Stepan.
face-off, and
Stepping away.
in my mind, Chris made a point in the car coming here that you put out your big money players. Yes, but we traded for Eric Stoll, who's really efficient on the faceoff. If you don't want to send Eric Stoll out there, who's in his 4th game as a Ranger, I
Well,
completely
that was the
understand
problem
that.
again that we talked about in the car. Was listen, I understand. I would have kept Eric Stoll out there too, but the fact of the matter was he just came off a long shift and they just got an icing. I understand why you take him off the ice there. And again, I argued that you put your big money players in, but Tom.
But what I argue is that you put Don Moore out there. He's your best faceoff guy. One way, you got a minute and a half left, right? Minute 39, I think they scored that goal. Don Moore, let's say he wins that faceoff. You have your 4th line out there. You dump it down, and you get a quick change. 9 seconds it takes.
But
You
listen,
have a minute and a half. You get your first line back out.
Stepan, a big money player, they win that and they go down and score. Are you having this conversation today?
Absolutely not.
Exactly.
But either way, I still wasn't happy when I saw Stepan go out there for that faceoff.
That's fair.
It's a crucial faceoff.
You know who was happy? All Islander fans
All
when they
Islander
saw the
fans.
best
When they
4th
saw
line in the
Stepan
league take out on that ice.
Stepan against Zizekas.
I will
take
Zizekas,
that every
Martin,
time.
Clutterbuck,
I
the
can- I-
4th line.
I can confirm that. I was right next to Tom during this game, and he was like, "Oh God, why is Stepan
As
taking
soon as
the
I
face
saw
off?
Stepan go out there.
Why is he taking the
Stepan
face
does a
off?"
lot of great things. I love Stepan on the Rangers, but one thing that he does not do well as a center is take faceoffs.
Stepan stepped on Tom's heart last night.
And
Yeah, basically,
Lundqvist missed the second game with this.
Second, I believe.
Yeah, second game with this neck injury. We don't know how severe this injury is.
Yeah, you hurt your neck throwing
I got
goals.
an update today that he's out for the rest of the week, but he's hoping to be back on the weekend.
They called you? They updated you?
The
Yeah,
actually score.
He called
updated
you
me.
personally?
I actually trust Score, the app.
Oh,
on my phone a lot.
Henrique and you are so close.
No, we are. Actually, he cuts my hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I asked him what
Actually,
shampoo
his
and
hair is
conditioner he
just-
uses. So.
His hair is 10 times better,
Slaug.
100 times better than your hair. Like, you can never get your hair as good as his
But that's
hair.
why I DM him on the weekends and ask what conditioner
Oh,
he
so he
uses.
follows you? I
Does
don't think
Courtney?
he follows you.
No, I DM him.
Does Courtney know about that?
Courtney DM me too, so we don't have to talk about that.
Oh.
That's how we first started talking. She DM me.
And it's gone.
Actually, I think you're going to get about the text. It's over. You're about to get a
Ooh,
text.
I don't know about that.
Henrique, it's over.
All right, let's calm down with the Henrique talk. We
Ooh.
don't have to bring that up. That's a soft spot. Come on.
Daddy Henrique. Tom's very upset now when you talk about Daddy Henrique.
All right. Anyway, back to the game. Yes, the Rangers did lose, but I was happy with several things. One, we're down 3-0. What, 5 minutes into the game? Not happy about that. But AV calls a timeout. He settles the troops, and we fight back in that game. The fourth goal that Boychuk ripped from the blue line, I thought
Clapper.
it was a clapper, but I thought Rana could have saved it. I think if Lundqvist is there, he might have saved that.
I don't know. There was
it's
there was
from
traffic.
the blue line.
There
There was
was
traffic, but it's from the
I heard
blue
I
line.
heard someone say that he should have saved the last goal. And
No
I was-
shot.
I was
No,
like,
face off.
absolutely
That
not.
that was
Snipe.
a snipe.
I
yeah,
was like,
Cluttered one.
what a snipe! Even when he scored the goal, I was like, wow, what a
I
shot.
don't like the Islanders obviously, and I don't like Clutterbuck, but I have to.
Clutterbuck
admit, that was
coming
a
up
beautiful
clutch.
shot.
That
But
was
anyway, back to what I was, I guess, happy with. If I had to take anything positive from the game, Eric Stahl also scored his first goal as a Ranger, and he got it in a dirty area. He got
And
right
an
to the
assist.
front, and he got a rebound. Yeah, and he had the assist on the
Over.
first
Well, that's
goal.
also because Halak can't control a rebound for his life, by
That's
the
true.
way.
But I mean, Stahl took advantage of
I-
it, and
I-
it was
no,
good
no.
to see.
That goal to tie the game was a horrible goal. It should have been saved.
was-
That was
but
like,
the thing
Halak,
is,
you're
it
killing
had
me.
that was an
worked-
awful penalty
It had
by Letty.
worked 2 times
Yes,
before
that too. But even with the
The
penalty,
puck's in the air, and you hit the guy on the boards who's nowhere near him. Come on, man. You're here. I understand. You play for the Blackhawks. Actually, I don't understand. You play for the Blackhawks and you won a Stanley Cup. You've got to be smarter than that. I love Nick Leddy. Nick Leddy's one of the better young defensemen in the league. You have to have a high hockey IQ in that scenario.
Absolutely, but even with that, I still think Halak should have made that save. It
The
went
thing
off
is,
his
though,
body into the net.
it had
Anytime
worked-
you get a piece of it, you have to get it.
It had worked twice before that. They gave it to Brassard in the same spot twice before that. One got through Halak, and I don't know who cleared it out of the zone. Maybe it was Dahan. I don't know. Someone cleared it right out of the blue. Then maybe Boychuk.
No.
Right out of the blue paint. cleared it.
Strait.
Oh, okay, Brian Strait. Yeah,
No, I'm
sure.
kidding.
Brian
Jesus.
Strait doing something
Brian
good.
Strait.
But someone cleared it out of the blue paint, and then the other one just went a little far wide. So it had worked twice before, and it was good that they actually got back to what was working. So they gave it right back to Brassard, and he ripped one and it went in. So I had no problem with that. Yeah, Halak definitely should have saved it. There was no traffic in front of him, but it had worked twice before, so why not give it another shot?
With that being said, the Rangers are sitting at 82 points. The Islanders are sitting at 79.
Mm-hmm.
With Lundqvist being out, you said he could come back in a week, but
And the Islanders
knows?
having 3 games in the hand.
Yes,
that's
that
the
too.
part that scares me.
do you think the Islanders are prepared to make a run to top the Rangers? Because
I'm
no
not-
one's touching the Capitals.
I mean, I
We
think
all
it's
know that.
possible.
To
It
top the
depends
Rangers.
how the Rangers want to come out and play. If they come out and play every game and go down 3-0 in the first 5 minutes, they're obviously the Islanders are going to overtake them, and the Penguins might catch them too. The Penguins are
Penguins have been
look a
playing
scary
well.
team
I
as well.
mean, Crosby kind of turned it on after the All-Star break. Like he just kind of figured out how to play hockey again.
But it just depends what Rangers show up every night. If for the next, I think we have 16 games left. If we show up and we're the Rangers of, I don't know, last season that went on that run to win the President's
They don't have
Trophy,
that defense of last season.
It's the same defense.
No.
It's the same defense. I mean, Mark Stahl isn't playing as well. Dan Girardi isn't playing as well, but it's the
I'm
same
Stahl
group of
back now?
guys. Well, I mean, Stahl was out last game, but
No,
it was
yeah.
just back spasms. I don't think he's going to be out that long. But the thing, McElrath is hurt now, too. That doesn't help the Rangers at all either. I think he really screwed up his leg.
I mean, listen. Ironically, today I was looking at the standings and everything, and I was like, wow, I think the Islanders have a really good chance to move into second place in the
They do.
division. And I looked at the Islanders' schedule, and I think I counted about 13 of the last 19 are tough games.
That's
I mean,
right,
you
yeah,
play
they
the
do have a
Lightning
tough
twice. You
schedule.
play the Penguins, I think, another 2 or 3 times. You play the Rangers again. You play the Capitals again. Listen, it's a tough schedule. Do I think the Islanders can succeed? Yes. But I think that they're going to have to rely on their goaltending. They're going to have to tighten it up. Yesterday was an anomaly right now. In the playoffs, there is no play. You're not going to have those high-scoring games. You're not going to have 6-4.
Absolutely not.
Last year, you saw it as an Islander fan against the Capitals. They were low-scoring, tough, nitty-gritty games. The Islanders have to get back to that kind of hockey, and they can. At the same time, they can't be playing guys like Brian Strait if they're playing nitty-gritty hockey. I mean, they just have to clean it up. The forwards need to be more responsible. And John Tavares this year has been awful with the puck in his own zone. Really doesn't know how to take
Calling
the
out
puck
the
out of his own
captain.
home.
Wow.
What?
Calling out the captain. Wow.
No,
Listen, he hasn't had a
it's-
good year in
it's-
any
Yeah,
standard.
it's not being overlooked. He's not
You
having the
expect
year
more from
everyone
him.
expected him to have. He
Sure.
was tied the league in points last season.
Yeah.
Everyone expected the same John Tavares, but I don't know what went on this year. Like he's having a good year,
He
but
did
not
have,
John Tavares.
no, well,
year.
they said he did have an illness that he came back a little bit early from. I mean, in a long season like this, it wears you down. But, I mean, at the same time, last year, there was just something different. They were up more. They were pushing the puck more. The Islanders' goal scoring itself has decreased. You've got guys like Strome. You've got guys like Lee. They're taking the same amount of shots. They're just not going in. It's just a different story.
Well,
this year.
me and you have said this plenty of times. We have a huge problem with Okposo, and like I think he's very overrated. He won $7 million this offseason. I said
want a unicorn.
I said on last week's show to Walsh that they should have traded him at the deadline. Get something in return that can help you make a playoff run, even like do something, because we don't want him back for $7 million. He's not worth that. But they decided to keep him. They were very low key at the trade deadline. What do you think?
Listen, I think Okposo should have been gone in the offseason. I think he should have been gone at the deadline, too. Listen, I understand you don't want to break up your team as you're getting ready for a playoff run. I understand that. Garth Snow, he decided to stand pat and run with the team he has. You're not going to be able to re-sign Okposo because if you re-sign Okposo, you're not going to have room to sign all your young guys who are going up soon, like Strome and Nelson. And at the same time, you're also not going to have money in a couple years for John Tavares. Okposo's gone. You're going to re-sign Franz Nielsen in my mind. I have no doubt they're going to re-sign Franz Nielsen to a nice deal because he loves being an Islander, and the Islanders love Franz Nielsen. But Okposo's going to walk. I think you could have gotten something for him. Hopefully he helps you out in the playoffs. But I will say, one of the more underrated things at the deadline is Garth Snow getting Shane Prince. And I know people laughed at it. I laughed at it myself, too, and then I did a little research in it. Kid's young. He's 23.
Young. Yeah, he's very young.
He's coming on to the end of his he's about to become a restricted free agent for the first time. They have him for a few years on the cheap. And, I mean, I will say one thing. The first game I didn't notice him. The next game he scored a goal. And in the Rangers game, I think he hit the post twice. The kid is playing on a line with no center. It's him, Anders Lee, and Kuhlman. There's no center, but he's still finding a way to see opportunities. And I've seen him back check a couple times, too, which is more than most of the Islanders forwards do.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When I saw the trade I got the update on my phone. I was like, "Wait, who?"
Yeah, you
Hey.
just don't recognize the name, but
I
you
was
realize
just
he's
like-
23.
At least it wasn't Vontae Smith-Pelly for Steven Mata.
Stefan
Stefan
Mattel.
Mattel, yeah.
I'm sure Bob
Sorry,
was
Bach.
happy about that.
Yeah, Box.
But the thing is, what'd you give up for Price?
I think like a
whatever his name is.
fifth,
Yeah, it
a
was
third,
a-
Yeah,
or
so
it
you
was a
give up
fifth
round
nothing.
pick.
I mean, if you can trade a 4th round pick, 5th round pick for a 23-year-old forward who's had, an okay year. I mean, he's not putting up numbers, but if you can
He was
tell
lost in
watching
their
his
system.
game-
He wasn't getting the
Yeah,
minutes there.
but if you watch his game, he like knows his way around hockey.
Yep.
Like he's gonna be a good player in a few years. He won't be John Tavares, but he'll be a 15-goal scorer, 30 points a season.
we can keep it hockey here. Last week the rosters for the national teams came out. Widely discussed. Who do you got as the favorite? There's always teams: USA, Canada, Sweden, Russia. Who do you got as like the main favorite to win it all?
I mean, I think going in, Canada's gonna be the favorite. They're on home ice. It's up in Toronto, but I like Sweden. That defense is insane. The defense that Sweden has is just ridiculous. And you do have Henrik Lundqvist in net. I know you guys don't really like him, but with Henrik Lundqvist,
I love
and
Henrik
Sweden's
Lundqvist. I
defense-
hate the
Hey,
Rangers.
I picked him on my fantasy team. I have no
Sure,
problems
you
with
picked
him.
right before me.
If Henrik
but
Lundqvist was
I
on
like
any other
Sweden.
team, I'd have his jersey.
I definitely like Sweden. I think Canada obviously is stacked when it comes to the offensive side of things. Defense, them going to need a little help, and you don't know what you're getting with Price. You don't even know if Price is alive at this
Hey, they
point.
still have Holtby too, though.
Well, if
That's
Price
true.
gets, if
Holtby
Price
hasn't
isn't
been
good to
good.
go, they can scratch him.
Holtby
and get
hasn't
another
been good in
goalie.
international play at all.
Yeah,
if
but
you look at his
he's a
stats,
different goaltender.
yeah,
now.
yeah, definitely. But I mean, if that's in his head going into the World Tournament, then
I tell you
never know.
what, if Price isn't ready to go, I wouldn't be surprised if you see Luongo in there.
If they get rid of Price off the roster,
I wouldn't be
yeah.
surprised if Luongo's your third goalie.
Well, they already have 3 goals.
Do they? Who's
Yeah,
the third?
it was Holtby, Price,
Bishop?
and
No, Bishop's the US
Bishop's
American.
Schneider's American. Who was the third? I know there was a third. Can you look that up real quick?
Yeah.
I know they had a third goalie.
Well, anyway, you got all those good teams. You got USA, you got Canada, you got Russia, Sweden. But I'm going to go out of the box. I'm going to pick the North American Rising Stars to win the World Cup just because I think all the other teams are great. All the other teams are amazing. But no one is going to take this team seriously. Everybody's going to look at them lightly. I mean, look at the Miracle on Ice team. All the teams, seriously. I know
mean,
it's a weird comparison, but at the same time,
same age group.
they were all in the same age group. They were all younger kids. I mean, all these older guys, they're going to see them, and they're going to be like, oh, look at all these kids. You got Eichel. You got McDavid. You might have Austin Matthews. You have Larkin, Gaudreau. I mean, you have a stud team. The only thing that's shaky in that area is your goaltending.
Mm-hmm.
But you still have John Gibson, who's a pretty good goaltender.
This season has been solid.
He's been a pretty good goaltender.
Solid.
If he gives you a couple good games, there's no reason to say they can't make a run in any of those divisions.
No, I actually picked him in my top 4. I mean, I think it's going to be, I remember correctly, Canada, USA, Sweden, and North America. I don't know what position.
You don't have
place.
Russia in there?
I think
mean,
Russia's defense is so weak. I think they have Orlov
exactly.
and that's it.
Exactly.
I think they play plenty of offense. I know their defense and goalie are weak, but still they have such good offense.
Yeah, but the thing is, in the World Cup of hockey, you're going to need defense.
That rink is wider, too.
And Team North America, I mean, their goaltending is a little iffy, but their defense is still
They have
pretty good, too.
Gostisbehere on defense. They've got Seth Jones on defense.
They have
a
a
pretty
defense
deep
that can
defense,
defend,
too.
but they can score at the same time. Seth
Yeah.
Jones and Gostisbehere can light it up.
That's going to be a dangerous team. That's going to be the most fun team to watch,
Oh,
period.
absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
No.
With the
I
nicest
think-
jerseys. With the nicest jerseys.
I like those jerseys.
Everybody's
Roman
gonna be fun to
numerals, those are fresh.
I'm were you surprised at all that Crosby didn't have wasn't questioned if he was gonna make the team? I know was the captain
I mean,
last.
if he had,
he was not having a good year this year.
if he had stayed at what he was doing at the beginning, then absolutely,
I think
he
it's
didn't make the
horrendous.
All-Star team.
Yeah.
But lately,
like
I
PK
mean,
didn't even.
we
make the
all
team.
don't
I think
like
it's horrendous that
Sidney
PK
Crosby.
Subban is not on the roster.
We
right
all
now.
don't like Sidney
Crosby.
Crosby, but as of recent, he's really stepped it up. He's been one of the most consistent players in the NHL. As much as that
I
pains me to
actually
say
like
it.
Sidney Crosby. I'll go on record saying I do like Sidney Crosby. I
I-
have a Sidney Crosby hoodie. Sidney
That's right,
Crosby
you do.
it
You do.
was the best player in hockey.
I've always said this, that I just never understood the criticism of him, because people said doesn't get physical enough, he doesn't fight enough, but
he's soft.
Yeah, but he's the best player. You should have people do that for you in hockey. The captain, your best player is not supposed to get in the fights.
I mean, not
I don't know
necessarily.
about
If
that.
you look
You're the
at captains
captain.
in the
You
league-
don't. If you're the best player on your team and you're the captain of your team, you don't need to be. You can't talk smack to other people, and then when somebody comes to step to you, run away and hide behind one of your boys. You step up and defend yourself. That's the problem with them. And he gets hurt way too often because he's soft. He's a soft player.
Yeah, but do you really want your best player fighting and then he's out in the box?
if
for
he's your
fighting?
captain,
we had
then
Steve
it sets
Leonard
an
fighting
example.
hot skates.
That's true.
That's true.
We-
I also have me
you
fighting
set an
hot skates,
example
but that's
as a
a completely
captain.
different story.
As a captain, you set an example for the team. If you're diving and you're taking embellishment penalties, I mean, come on.
Hey, you took some penalties for our hot skates team. That's setting a good example for me and Chris.
You're gonna talk to me about taking penalties, but I never took a diving or embellishment penalty.
Me and you have never thrown our sticks mid hockey game like some people.
Bro, I've done a lot in hockey.
Listen,
I
all
fought a
right,
volunteer fire department. Let's be real here. All right,
By
and listen,
himself.
shout out to the
By
volunteer
himself.
firefighters who jumped me in the hockey game. Guys, you're not real firefighters. Relax, calm down.
But
It's
he
not
took on
that big a
whole
deal.
team by himself. That was the best part.
What?
You took on the whole team by
I know,
yourself.
it was like
that
one
was
on
the best
four.
part.
But
no,
it-
I thought it was great. He took on the goalie.
I'm gonna put on.
No,
I'm
the
gonna
goalie took
find.
him on.
I'm gonna find a way to post this onto the Iona webpage. But everyone who's listening, David Giacomino, who's like, yo,
Oh my
resident
God.
tough guy, yo, I'm mad tough. I got you all. Like, yo, anyone wants to scrap? Bah 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 bah. Well, guess what, guys? He is fake tough because let's be real here. I was on the bottom of a pile. I had all
Alright,
these
listen,
kids on
listen,
top
let
of
me
me. I
talk.
had all these refs on top of me. And Dave, after the whole thing's over, goes, yo, man, I was going
I
to
was
come help you,
right
but I was
there.
too far away, man.
And
I couldn't
as-
help you. It is what it is, man.
As a witness,
I see a picture afterward from one of our friends, and the pile is right here, and less than 2 inches away is David in his white helmet, watching with his stick on the ground, like, this is really interesting.
All right, listen. I think every ref that was in hot skates was on top of the pile. So if I was jumping on the pile, I was gonna hit a ref.
You already
And-
hit a ref literally
Well,
5
what's the
minutes
problem with
before.
that? You hate the refs at hot skates.
I do, but
Did
in
you
my
not hit a
mind-
referee less than 5 minutes before that?
I did. I did.
Excuses.
you hit him with the puck, right?
I did hit.
Oh,
and
that's
he
right.
was
Yeah, I remember
pissed.
that.
He was pissed.
I mean, I've never presented myself as a tough guy, but at least I have a valid excuse. I mean, my shoulder was dislocated at the time, and I was watching from the stands.
I've never
So-
presented myself as a tough guy.
I mean, you yelled at me on the bench.
I did.
Yeah, that was kind of hurtful.
You know,
Oh, you're soft too.
I have
I'm
led
not as soft as Cindy.
I have led the
Scream
league
off,
in
calm
penalty
down.
minutes. You know, so I am the enforcer of the
You
team.
took what, like 20 penalty
Dave,
minutes?
You're
in one game?
soft.
All right, come on. This is David's show. Let's not call him soft on his own show.
That is complete
Come on.
lie.
Carvel.
I'm soft.
I mean, listen. David has had my back so many times.
And I've had your back too, Chris.
Yeah.
You can't even
Wow.
lie.
Just this one instance when you were actually needed it the most, he didn't have your back. But he's had our back.
When David got
Whenever-
clocked that
when-
one play, who was the first person over to deck the guy on top of Dave?
Fact.
Yeah.
But no, seriously. Whenever I would get knocked down, or maybe you would get knocked down, whoever gets knocked down, David's always in the kid's face, probably hitting him with his stick, which is very illegal. But
Listen. When at that same game when Tom got hit, who was there?
Dave was the first one I heard in the background.
Oh no,
yelling.
I saw Tom on the other thing and I went, I knew that was gonna happen. I just turned around. I didn't even go check on you.
I thought
man.
I died. Really?
And-
I thought I had died at one point.
Same game. No, it was the game.
Marcel's.
The game after that playoff game. You know, Mike, my brother, gets laid out. He's hit. I'm like, I'm not letting this happen.
I don't know if he got laid out.
I don't know.
You weren't
that was
there.
The game before?
No, I said the game
oh,
after.
the last. Oh, I'm sorry.
Chris saw. It was a very, it wasn't too smart of a penalty for me to take.
Well, no, not in a playoff game. No.
No.
But then
Well,
we
I
had
ha-
won
We
a
just
championship
got like
game.
a power play. Every time we get a power play, I always look for Dave because I know he's gonna go and clock the kid and lose the power play.
But I gotta protect my teammates. You know?
No. You protect your teammates by getting the power play scoring, and then hitting the kid later.
That game, our 8th game, when I had those 2 goals in the last minute to win the game, I still remember me being slashed or whatever, and they didn't call it, whatever, and then you just go over to the guy, and you hit him, you knock him down, and then you take a penalty, which I think it was a tie game at that point. See, that is an example of a dumb time to try to protect your captain, which, listen, I appreciate, I really do. But if you
I
take
don't
a
know.
penalty,
I not
in a
only
tie
I not
game,
only hit this kid, I knocked his helmet off.
I feel like we could have a whole show dedicated to hot skates,
just
and then
District
like
5 hockey.
I feel like we could have like a segment just like best hot skates quotes of all time, but I don't think we're allowed to say half of them on the air.
No.
I would say
No.
85%.
One of the
No,
few that I will say
95.
is Eric Bach. Bro, you want to go have a catch in the parking lot after this?
No,
Yo.
I think the best one of all time was Howie when he got knocked down and stared at
Yo,
the bench
Shrek?
and just went, whoa.
Shrek ate it.
This guy Howie, like 40-year-old guy, Hoskins, great guy, but he got knocked down. His
He
helmet
looks like
comes
he hides
flying
bodies
off.
in his closet.
Definitely. But he just, I remember he got knocked down, helmet comes flying off, looked at me on the bench, and just went, whoa. In my mind,
Yo,
was
it
probably
happened
the
in
best memory
slow
I have.
motion.
It was.
No, I remember Howie. The greatest thing ever. It was mid playoff game. We were down like 3-1 at the time. He comes out to me, "Hey man, can I play offense?" I'm like,
was this year?
"No, you cannot play offense."
Bro, I would have let him. I
I
would have
mean,
thought
that
that would have
would've-
been even funnier, man.
I mean, if you would have asked that when it was a huge lead and we were
7-1?
losing, yeah, then I was
7-1
like,
when you
yeah,
guys
I was like,
losing,
yeah, go. But not 3-1. I thought we had a chance to win at that point.
I'll tell you what, I will miss District 5 hockey.
I
It
knew
was
we
so
weren't
much
gonna
fun.
have a chance to win the moment we walked in there, but
But the thing is, though, what impresses me most about our hockey team is that we won a championship game in which we had taken 28 penalty minutes.
I
in a
had
40-minute game.
I had
no. We won a championship game when Daddy, aka me, Chris Freitag, after in my first year where no one thought I'd score 1 goal,
Was you up
much
for that
less
season?
3,
Oh, fair.
and the game-winning championship goal in the final to win us the trophy. All right, guys? At the beginning of the year, who called that coming? Nobody.
No,
that was impressive, and and who would have thought? I was in the penalty box. Steve was in the penalty box at the same time. I think it was one other person. It was 3 guys in the box.
I
at
think it
once.
was the twins and you.
Yeah, the twins
Yeah,
and
the
me
twins
in the
and you.
box at once.
Sounds
And
I
about
think
right.
that's when I called a timeout and just flipped on everyone.
And then me and
I
Steve.
laughed.
just
The
decided
greatest,
to
so
the
laugh.
funny.
greatest
That
timeout
was-
speech ever given by a hockey captain. That's exactly what it sounded like.
And then-
I was so mad.
It's me, Steve, and Chris just standing next to each other. We
Laughing.
just start hysterically. We
I
couldn't.
Sounded like
We
the
just started
parents of Charlie
laughing.
Brown to me. Womp, womp,
We-
womp, womp, womp.
We just couldn't take you seriously. We were like, Tom, we're gonna win the game. Don't worry.
I mean, we did end up winning, but I don't know.
You're welcome.
I was very upset. 28 penalty minutes in a 42-minute game.
Hey, we proved the
I don't
doubters
know
wrong.
I
how
don't think we'll
especially
ever
the refs.
beat my
don't know.
throwing demonstration during a hot skates game.
That was the best penalty ever taken of all time.
Chris
Chris is already in the penalty box. I think he has.
Oh, red helmet was the best penalty I ever took.
Yeah.
When he was just talking smack to all you guys, and that was the one game I wasn't in a state. So all of a sudden, he was talking smack to one of you guys, and I was like, okay. He went over to the boards, and he was like, none of you guys can take me down. I'm the biggest man. That's how he sounded in my mind. I'm the biggest man on this ice. No one can take me down. Rolled up behind him, and I cross-check boarded him as hard as I could. He was lying on the ground, and I was like, ha-ha.
And then
How
you
you like
just
that,
skated away.
I skated right to the box.
You
Right to
hit
the box.
him and then just went right around.
Right to the box.
And I was like, you know what? That's not a bad foul.
I knew it was coming.
And then, no, he didn't even try saying anything after. He was like, on the ground. And I'm like,
But going back to the whole puck throwing thing, he already has a penalty. He's got like 10 seconds left before he can get out of the box.
I did.
And
No, I thought
think
he just got in the box.
Actually,
I had 10
Oh,
seconds
was
in
it?
the box.
Oh, then I shot it into the penalty box mistakenly.
That was your fault.
It was all my fault.
So
and then
this
the
is
ref
all-
comes over. The ref comes over to get the puck from Chris, and Chris goes, flings it to the other side of the rink, in which the ref went, really? There's another 2 minutes. But in my mind, that was probably the funniest moment of ice skates.
you can just tell just by listening to
I didn't have my
this,
contacts
this,
in.
this short, talk that we're having.
How many viewers are we losing right now talking about?
I feel like
our
we're
hockey?
gaining.
We've gained.
We've gained.
We gained.
Wow.
I'm telling you for a fact.
Wow, shout
This
out
is
to
the
District
most.
5
We should
hockey.
have a District 5 show.
We definitely should.
No, you can just tell. The viewers can tell that these refs just don't like us.
No, they don't like you.
All right, they don't like me. They don't like Chris. They don't like.
They don't like the Leonards.
They don't like the Leonards.
Actually, I think they dislike our whole team except for me, and that's just because I kiss up to them.
Daddy
because-
Paul. They hate Papa Paul.
No, because I mean, Paul just kind of yells.
Paul just kind of yells in any general direction.
That's true.
So
And-
shout out to Paul if he's watching, by the way.
Paul. Oops.
The beard.
He'll appreciate that. He does yell in
Does
any
yell.
general direction. I
Yeah.
don't think he'll be mad with that.
I think he
accepts
always
that.
says that openly.
Shout out to Patino and Sofo.
I don't think they're watching.
No. Any final thoughts on District 5 before we wrap this?
One
Right.
last thing. Bomb. Bomb.
That's
There you
for
go,
sure.
John.
But I mean, final thought on District 5. I'm gonna miss it. I'll be
I
out
mean,
for the next 6
Is it,
months.
this is all your fault that our team is.
Yes, it's my shoulder fault.
Yeah.
My shoulder's fault for popping out of my
Look
socket
at
and
me.
tearing my
I
labrum.
am the captain now.
I-
That's the reason why we don't have a team, Dave.
John, if you come on the radio, if you're watching and you come on the radio show next week, I promise you that you can be captain. Okay, John? That's for you. I promise. I will take it away from Dave, which I never really signed. him.
Scarallo said it
I'll
too.
take it away. Let's not talk about that. But I'll take it away from Dave.
Paul's listening, by the way.
Oh, nice. Hi, Paul. But yeah, John can be sole captain of this hockey team.
I don't think this hockey team is happening. Me and Chris are
We're gonna be the
fo-
Blackhawks soon.
are focusing on.
Blackhawks.
Hawks. Blackhawks.
We're focusing on softball this upcoming season.
And I'll be watching in my sling.
If you come.
What's
Which-
your team name gonna be? Have you figured that out yet?
No, we haven't. Viewers out there, if you want to give us some suggestions,
Tweet at what D Giacomino 94
No, yeah, it's just
Tweet
David, it's
at
just David Giacomino.
The
Okay,
real
Giacomino.
Freitag.
It's just David
or
Giacomino.
at Tom the Turtle 9.
Yeah.
Tom's
You
not even
wanna
playing.
Just tweet out.
I'm not, but I can be like the
I'm a real
designated
boy.
cheerleader
Pick me. I want to be
in
included.
a sling. I would bring one pom pom and have my.
Can
sling
we just
and
talk
cheer
about
you
Lake
guys
George
on.
instead of going on sports?
No,
I
we
don't.
got-
I don't
we
think
gotta,
we should do that.
I don't think we should talk about Lake George. We should continue on the whole sports thing. We should
Oh.
get back to real sports.
Kings is gone.
Yeah.
At some point.
I wish we should go back
Kings
to,
will
back to
never
real
be played
sports here. We'll
again.
take a quick break. We'll get ourselves refocused, and we'll get back to it.
Make America great again.